Hello everyone, welcome back. Camera will be on and off as I will be uh, enjoying an adult beverage while we work on this. Today we're going to be working on a new map to point out what I did without the entirety of basically doing for YouTube. And this is Creator's Creation, of course. I went in here, I did the nation map, so you get a quick glimpse of it. I also went through and did the races map. So giving another quick glimpse of it. And the reason I did this is off screen was because it wasn't very exciting. This was just mostly me referencing a list, and I didn't see a reason to kind of mess around with that. And also because of the fact that this was just something I was kind of working on while I was pretty frustrated after work, so I wanted to kind of mess around. Anyways, so we're gonna do a new map. This we'll keep the same kind of size. We're gonna keep that adventurer style. I don't remember. I'll just go with the full 1080p, I guess, and we'll do a landscape here. So we've got the new one we've got to do. We are going to work on Olympia. For those who don't remember what Olympia looks like, basically it is this little continent right over here. So as we kind of pointed out, excuse me, I've been the belching is coming from the cider. So yeah, we want to start working on some land. So let's start to just raise a landscape all around. Now, Olympia, I'm going to make sure I have it, or Olympia, I'm going to have it kind of pulled up over here so that I know what I'm kind of working on and can kind of keep track of it. So we're going to start with the Selmica area. We're going to continue to do, I'm going to do some pretty harsh roughness, but I am going to increase the brush size quite a bit because as we're kind of going through here, I kind of want to cover all of that. So we want to, well, right now I just want a full smooth line. So the thing is it will expand as we go out because we want to keep the two large continents of Selmica and Celsica kind of still roughed in here, so you can get a referencing point for the other nations, and B, it kind of gives you a rough idea of how the continent is shaped in different areas. And now we're going to increase our roughness all the way to the max, and first off we're going to populate this little area. And we want to get this kind of plopping around. Just gives it a nicer edge in my opinion. And also lets us kind of push the lines out a little bit more. So, alright, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Again, we'll just kind of maxing this brush as much as we can. We're just going to kind of swish it through. You can just paint the land. The reason I'm raising it up is I think it looks a little more neat. So it just I think in general it kind of gives it the natural-esque design to it, which is definitely what we want. So again, this will be our two northern continents. Now we're gonna go in here and brush size this and just little bits where it's gonna be a little thicker. Alright. Some areas are fine to be a little cleaner. Alright, perfect. Now we want to do the Olympia continent. So this one we're actually just going to take a brush and kind of do a rough outline. So if supposedly the other continent was right over here, the continent of... Well, I'd have to look at my folders again. But the other adventuring continent from last week, and the one I was just kind of showing you, we want to kind of do the secondary one. Now again, to adventurers, this is going to look differently, and I bring this up, I'm like talking to my camera, but of course, no, my camera's turned off, so here, apologies. So, as I was mentioning, so, these are adventurers. The idea is that they are basing this according to what they understand of the world. So, at this time, boats are very, not magical. So I think that's the best way to kind of put it. They're not as capable as they normally would be. So taking that into account, we then can easily really figure out how we're going to do these continents. Now we still want to stick to the same shape as Olympia, which again kind of has this like little almost crab-like. We're going to expand it a little bit because it's going to have all these islands attached to it. And then we're going to also attach back these things. But, you know, this has got to be based on what the adventurers would see. So we're going to start out with a kind of a line to do a rough etching of it. So them saying it's like over in this area, we're going to actually kind of set that up to be the edge of the continent. Oop. So we want to do it like that. And that'll include Dracum. Then we're going to come down into this crab-like formation. And you can kind of see they're going to get that big bay area. We'll get the lakes in there. And then we're going to bring this over to here. We're going to extend it out with the attachment here that will later split off on its own. It will also kind of expand a little bit extra up here for that extra piece we're getting. And then the draconium pieces are going to be kind of basically a big chunk down here that gets added in. And then we'll kind of give the edge of the continent of like right here for reference. And that'll be the Loxodon portion. And then what I'm going to do is the other portion of this that they haven't seen yet, or an undiscovered continent, we're going to be putting over around here. It's going to be a small little figurine creature, and it's going to kind of give off a bit of a landmass. You'll probably recognize this from the map here as we go, but let's go ahead and fill this all in with more land. As we do so, we can go with a little bit of a larger brush coming in here, because at this point we're going to rough it out anyways, so it's okay to have a little bit of uncleanliness with the edges and all that. Okay. And then we'll fill in this part that would be draconium at the time, or draconum, and then we're gonna come into here now and go with what we call that rougher brush. We'll come in here and just kind of give this a bit more loving here. There we go. It just makes it look a lot less clean, which, you know, again, like I said, that's kind of what we're aiming for here. We're not looking for a massive amount, but these continents do need to look a little more on the rougher side. We are going to definitely need to kind of shape this a bit more, though. So we're going to definitely come in here a little bit more, giving this a bit more of a head space. There we go. And then we're going to sink it down a little bit. Oops, that's a little too rough. Let's bring that back. Let's make the brush size smaller. And just kind of like that. A little bit more, and then we're going to shape this area out to be a bit different. Now we're going to bring this brush size up a little bit and come in here and just give it a little bit of a flare by slowly taking that away. There we go. So that'll give us our whole overall continent. Now we want to get our lakes in, our rivers in, because we always have our rivers listed. So let's go ahead and do the water. We'll start with that. We will do the lakes actually kind of first. Let's also bring that brush size way, way down. Also, because I need to duplicate this real quick, I need to take a look. At the continent over here. Excuse me. Of Krake, or Krakek. Alright. We're going to finish that up. Okay, so with the lakes in the area, surprisingly, not many of them on the continent. Most they're going to be in two places, one being here, and another being down there. And now we're gonna leave these as they are, and you're gonna see kind of why. There we go. and you can kind of see where it's billowing in. This one's gonna go up to here, and then it's going to taper to there. Perfect. And then, just because we're going to, actually hold up. We don't want a meander distance on this last one. Let's bring up the width here. Ooh, okay. Here. Nope, we do want the meander distance. And we're gonna then take this and go the opposite way as well. And you'll kind of see where the lake kind of splits up. We're going to bring in a couple of large lakes throughout this part. And we're going to create a bunch of rivers now. Boop. And there we go. And then we're going to... You can kind of already get the idea of what's happening here. This definitely will later split off, and and that'll be one of the things that we're going to be dealing with. Now, the other lakes that are important. We want to get that, and then there's going to be a tiny one there. We're going to kind of expand that a little bit. There we go. It's going to... do the same thing to double it back. Makes it look a lot cleaner. And then lastly, there we go. And then we're gonna do the same thing back to it. There we go. Much cleaner. And you're now starting to see the shape of what these continents actually are. So let's put the labels on them. For today, we'll get this down. So we're going to do, this is known to the world as Olympia. Leave that as is. Do I like that font? Aladdin, ugh. I don't remember what I used last time. Barlow Condensed, Bilbo, no. Actually, I kind of like the Bilbo design. Lancelot, you know, we're sticking with that. So we are going to call this, well, what do we call this continent, really? At this time, the continent wouldn't have yet a name. I guess it would be, we're going to call it, Sunny Waves Shift Enter Island. And of course, we'll get our typical Celsica written into here. Down here, we'll get Selmica. So that way we have it done. And then we are going to save as. And we will call this First Stage Continent 204 blank. And leave it at that. And, you know, that makes it kind of easier. We are going to then probably call that for this video. Yeah, it's been about 13 minutes. I think I'm going to knock out the other two here. Oh, actually, we missed a label. We don't want to forget this label. One moment. And, oh, we also need to, while I'm working on this, you know, because I didn't even think about this, we are going to rough up this land over here. And we also need to bring out a little bit more, like around here. There we go. All right. Much better. And now we can put the name right here of Krakek. And that we'll keep that colored in that deeper reddish color. There we go, like the others, or unlike the others. Okay. Oops, nope. All right, now we can delete that. Save it, perfect. So now you kind of have a better idea of it. So yeah, we'll call that for the first episode today. And I guess I'll work on the other two continents tonight, because why not? Oh, let's also make sure we, just as a mention, always do this. When you are trying to export these, we want to export them properly. Yep, we'll do that. We'll have 204. Yeah, save. All right, perfect. All right, now we can end, and we will see you on the next episode.